Twitch!
Matches, maybe.
It's your boy Pootu, and I'm here with the Pootu crew.
So we could just talk.
You're not muted. You're live right now. I love the silly starts. It's great. Whoopsies. Roll back the tape. What up, folks? It's Monday night, and it's Dungeons and Dragons, and we're playing some Unbeaten Path. It's an exciting time. Welcome to the PU to ASU crew. We like to do some Dungeons and Dragons on Monday night. And we're going through a great campaign right now called the Unbeaten Path. If you're not familiar with what it is, we encourage you to look back through our Twitch content and check us out on YouTube to get caught up because it's been a doozy lately. Our DM is getting really into good storytelling, and there's been lots of twists and turns as we've been going, so check that out. A couple of just reminders and announcements before we get rolling. One is, if you haven't already, you should try to find us on our social media. We're on Twitter, we're on Instagram, and we're on Facebook. And find us and give us a like, drop us a follow. We'd love that. Matter of fact, there's been a little bit of activity on the Twitch page, or sorry, not Twitch page, the Twitter page. And I just want to give some public shout-outs to Pepper the Goblin, Lynch Zolon, Counterspell Culture, and... Presto for the likes and retweets. Counterspell Culture just did it again. We appreciate you. I like that we have fellow Dungeons and Dragons fans that are really trying to help us.
Those are the most Dungeons and Dragons names that I've ever heard in my life.
But we appreciate you.
It's not just a collection of numbers and letters that imply spots. You know?
And if I haven't already, folks, this is a public announcement. If I haven't already, if you retweeted any of my stuff, I should have dropped you a follow. If I haven't, make sure to grab me because I want to be able to do the same back. So thank you for that help. It's really helped us on Twitter kind of advance a little bit there. And I've noticed that has sort of brought people over to the Instagram page. So thank you guys so much. I do want to say... we are continuing with Unbeaten Path. PS Zombie has restarted it, but we did have a lot of fun with our most recent one-shot. So if you want to check that out, specifically the 2-hour mark, man, it gets good. It gets really high quality. There's no references to bowel movements or poop or anything like that. It's great. But it will have you laughing a lot.
Like that's implied, right?
It will have you laughing a lot because I re-listened to it and it had me laughing a lot. So check it out. It's good for some good yucks to get those in. So that's kind of where we're at now. We're trying to run another one-shot campaign right now that we will be announcing later this week. So be watching on our social media for that. And I'm going to kick it over to our game master, our dungeon master, PS Zombie. PS Zombie, how's it going?
Hello, it's going well.
Good.
We are getting ready to dive back in here. It's always like that antsiness where you're like, did I just forget huge gaps of things I should have prepared for? But
and the answer is always yes, but you just gotta
never know until you play, right?
Yeah, I think I broke out of jail.
Getting a little...
Pretty sure
getting a little PTSD from the mention of Counterspell. Every GM's favorite spell. Even Matthew Mercer visibly weeps on screen every time it's used.
Yeah, because you're like, all right, I planned my turn out.
All right, so I need to get that one.
You should. Counterspell's great.
I'm just kidding. I don't mind. Yep. It's in the game. We work around it. Or we don't. We just lose to it every time. It's fine.
Oh, I already have it.
Well, the thing is, people can always counterspell you. DMs have access to counterspell as well.
Counterspell, counterspell.
Yeah, we
awesome.
did that.
Like volleyball.
Exactly.
My last campaign, we had multiple counterspellers, and often what would happen is the bad guy would cast something, one of us would counterspell it, he'd counterspell our counterspell, and then somebody else would counterspell that counterspell. And so you'd have to
Madness.
Magic the Gathering it, figure out who's
Yeah,
who's
chain
got stack
4.
priority. Yeah.
I like to think
Yeah,
of
I'm Magic.
Called
War
spell
of the
speed
spell
in Yu-Gi-Oh, but
slots.
it's the same thing.
Exactly.
I like to think of it as the ultimate
right, well.
reverse from Uno. It's like, psh.
Oh yeah.
We've got the 3 main card games: Yu-Gi-Oh, Magic the Gathering, and Uno.
Yeah.
Uno. Screw you, Pokemon trading card game.
Nobody plays that. Nobody plays Hearthstone.
Yeah, so last session, just to recap where each of our party members ended up, so Alibaba, off doing his own thing, heard about a back entrance into the Ashen Kingdom, which he is currently, I believe, following through on in the hopes to find his companions, as it has been surmised, however, that he probably won't be able to leave this place without them, such is the nature of the path. And Amubis is in jail, did his best to break out, and was ultimately unsuccessful, and found himself bound and gagged in a somewhat perhaps worse predicament than he was in before.
We appreciate the effort.
And yes, you gotta try. Kuros is in the laboratory of Malvagel, who is the sort of head magician wizard for the Ashen Queen, which they went before her and gathered that she was
Cool.
kind of very concerned with appearance.
No doubt,
Very
no
much
doubt,
a
no doubt.
fostering sort of leader, but still well intimidating. That's about where we are. I think literally the screen we're on is Karos, so
Mhm.
we can.
Do we want to do little introductions first of our characters?
Oh yeah, I forgot that we do that often. Yeah,
We do that
Why don't you go
quite
ahead
frequently.
and start us out?
Yes. I am Babylon. I'm playing Karos Vester, who is an armor artificer of Variel, which is a race of wicked elves. My wings are broken, and therefore I am mechanically playing a high elf. Excited to talk shop with another inquisitive mind over here. I think we make some major headway. Done.
Nice.
Do I go next?
Sure.
I'm Climate Changer playing Alibaba, the tiefling warlock who has kind of ventured off on its own, fleeing from a flight. So fleeing, we say fleeing, it's more surviving.
abandonment.
And,
Strategic.
I wouldn't do that. And he's on his way back to find his amigos. He travels through some, I think, a sewer of some kind. Playing a warlock with a genie patron.
Good fun.
Formerly the noble genie, but they dropped the noble. They're like, he can be a bad guy.
Doesn't have to be that noble.
And I'm your boy Putu, Putesu, and I play Amubis Calfin. He is a Minotaur race, and he is class-wise a cleric, specifically Grave Domain cleric, and he is doing some hard time right now. And I don't mean just by prison, I mean emotionally. He's lost his companion that's still fresh on his mind. So there's lots of prisons, physical and emotional, going on with him right now. But what's most imprisoning is the fact that he feels like he really didn't do anything wrong.
Well, no, you didn't.
I've been taken captive! So, He's
Of
annoying
course, he
with that.
didn't do anything wrong.
An emotional and
Yeah.
physical maze.
Yes.
They just like that sword. I don't know what to say.
Yeah.
Yeah, if touching a sword is a crime, lock me up.
I locked most of my player characters in.
I'm more of a dagger person.
Nice.
Fair. I don't actually know if I have canonically touched a sword in this campaign. Mostly
That's
a puncher.
Not in your own body, at least.
That's true. Yeah, that's fair. I did
I
have a
played
weapon
the
as
magical punching class.
Joe Glass.
Okay, so we'll start here. So you're in the laboratory, Karos. You are in the laboratory of Malvja. You can see many glowing files of potions, many devices that seem to be arcanely manufactured, which is neat, as well as the more typical runes and enchanted items, which is more common than actually making something magically, like imbuing an already existing item. Lots of books, baubles, trinkets, sort of typical what you might see in a magic user's lab. It might be a little bit more novel to you personally, as your people are not typically approving of arcane magic.
Yeah, it's a different breed of magic. I'm sure.
Yeah, you kind of mostly know
really
it from
encountered in
like
my life.
you and your father's work. Looks more like something y'all might do, but with y'all didn't do so much of the sort of occult aspects. You were kind of
a more wizardly bent, sure.
yes.
Less artificery.
You can see that in addition to bringing you in this room, some servants dropped off a chest that contains your armor. He has also brought it to his lab. He's kind of been given authority over these sorts of matters. And he goes ahead and he addresses you, first saying, I suppose my primary question would be, what interest do the Avariel have in the Underdark?
I'm afraid that you'll probably be disappointed in this answer, but I'm a bit of an apostate. I'm not even loosely associated with the Avariel anymore. My father and I were not well respected for our choice of profession in life, and so I left after events, and I've mostly made my life among humans and dwarves in the land elves more recently.
So go ahead and hit me with a quick persuasion check.
Can
Just
do.
because this is matters of national defense.
Oh, I'm bad at those. 12. Hey, bad.
All right. Well, he's well read enough to know kind of what Avariel are about and the nature of your gear, your lack of wings. It kind of adds up. Like, you would hardly be the archetypical agent that they might send to, I don't know, infiltrate their enemy. So he asks, how did you and your companions come to be here again?
So there's a sort of interdimensional space that sort of juts up next to every different plane. And you can access it by sort of feeding it. We call it the path. And we only recently discovered it, and we just sort of wandered here, to be honest. It kind of connects to a bunch of different locations, and it's hard to tell exactly where you're going to end up. But it was mostly an academic pursuit at the start, from what it seems. But I fear it's turned into more of a rescue mission. So we are quite anxious to get back.
Yes, we have records that go back a long, long way, and I am somewhat familiar with this path as a concept. It seemed it connected planes of existence. Do you know who has interest in the path at this point? Who even knows it's open again?
Confirmation of the Avarial know, and they're quite keen to keep it secret. We've met an Avarial woman along the path. She was rather insistent that we, not head up her way. So it seems my people know, and then at least one human kingdom. I'd prefer to keep their, them out of it, but that's all I know for sure. And then some stragglers from here and there. It seems people sometimes find their way to the path somewhat accidentally. We met a pirate ship who just found themselves there one day. They seem to sort of have hit some rough waters and just ended up there. I imagine some sort of brief overlap of the planes just shunted them and they got caught. It doesn't seem to be the usual way to get in.
So you're saying, to your knowledge, there's no one actively attempting to use the path for political gain, invasion of kingdoms, any of this sort of obvious applications?
I can't honestly say what anyone's given interest is, but it seems the Avarial aren't keen on it, and the human kingdom certainly isn't. Their king was killed for even, opening the path. So I don't think they'll be using it for much without a great deal more study, and I would say hundreds of years, which, as you know, in human timeline is a great deal more impactful than for us. But no, I would say that the only people I would even suspect of having any sort of political ideals for it would be whoever has it here. Did I mention there's somebody in the Underdark who does have an open pathway to the path? We don't know who it is. We honestly thought it was you. It's rather inconvenient for any form of invasion, unless you'd find some way to tame it. It's got very strict rules, and it takes a while to get through.
Well, as it stands now, there's no known way to go from the Underdark to the surface. Currently in a state of isolation. There are times throughout the centuries it becomes easier and harder, fissures, and surges of who knows what energy. But we've been in a spell where we have no contact, so I mean, it cannot be understated what value that could be. Just the chance to go to the surface.
Yes, that would be
establish trade.
At the very least, share information about, the goings on, so that you can have more culturally rich environment, I can see how that would be quite appealing. Well,
He reaches out with a mage hand and grabs a book from somewhere on the right hand side of the room there, and draws it to himself, flips open to a page, and presents it to you, and says, "There have been reports in ancient times that armies were able to travel through.
oh dear. Well,
You say
that,
it's difficult."
yes. My studies in the path have shown that very seldom, if even ever, I don't think we found any examples otherwise, only 3 can travel at a time together. Any other group of 3 will be sent along a completely different, alternately winding path, faced with challenges that have been more than too much for me and my companions most of the time. We've only have once succeeded, and it's taken us a while, honestly. It's possible that has something to do with the amount that's being fed into the path.
Yes, perhaps it's incomplete. I was thinking the same thing.
In order to get armies to be able to move through at once, it would require a colossal amount of energy, I have to imagine. Seems the path probably doesn't want to do it by itself. It's got strict rules. It's got a mind. It's got, frankly, a soul, and it seems to want what it wants. I can't imagine the amount of power you would have to do to force your will onto it and let an army travel through.
You say it's difficult to traverse, yes? You were able to do it, you with your friends?
Yes, my friends who I came down here with, we managed to make it through, not without help from a number of different people along the path, but you can briefly intersect. There's lobbies, and occasionally you'll find your paths intersecting. So I would say we would not have made it without a great deal of help, and I don't know how to replicate that.
He said, "Come, show me your arm."
Oh, yes, I'd love to.
So it's, we'll just say it's down in this corner here.
Mm-hmm.
He leads you to the chest, which he kicks open, and your armor's all there. I'm not sure if it comes apart in pieces or whether it's like kind of one full suit that you slip into, like a space suit. Or
yeah, I think I got a recent suit upgrade. Then I think it was probably more one thing before that was like quite odious to take off, but I think now it's more segmented, because it's got more bits and bobs to it. Like I've got more abilities, and so it's got more like things it can do. Do you mind if I slip it on? It's sort of a symbiotic relationship.
Yes, all right.
I place my hand on it, and as an action, it just sort of like almost melts and materializes on my body within 6 seconds. And I snap the helmet up, and I just sort of like hold my hands out like, eh.
Incredible. And this is this is for combat?
Yes, it has a number of different uses. By this point, it's sort of a combo.
Slowly walks around you in a circle, just looking at.
It's a combo. Originally, it was built as a sort of assistance device for potential people who wanted to come and visit the Avarial Kingdom. My father and I had a similar qualm that you did, in that our people seem to be quite isolated, and although it was by their choice rather than design, we wanted to make it more accessible to everybody, and so we built these, what we envisioned as flying suits, but it seems it's not terribly effective unless you already have some form of control over the back flight mechanics. We haven't been able to uplink it or anything, so now it's for combat, a combo of my technology and the paths.
He kind of looks at you very wide-eyed, extremely interested.
Yeah, I'll show him some of the functionality. I pull out the electric gem node and start to crackle my fingers and point it away from him and beat my wings a little bit. Just all the things that I can't really do normally.
He says, if we had soldiers with armor like this, they could make it through the path, don't you think?
Well, the thing about armor like this is it's actually a little bit deceptive. Would you like to try it on?
Yes, if I may.
Yeah, it'll probably take you a little bit longer to put on, but I think it'll illustrate the point a little bit better. So I'm gonna, as an action, just sort of step out the back, and it kind of unfolds, Iron Man style, and he can just sort of walk into it if he wants.
Yeah, so he'll start to attempt to put it on, but much like an academic trying to put on a full suit of heavy armor, he does not meet the strength requirement, and
it will slow his speed,
weighs him down.
Yeah. As you can see, it's not as easy to move in as it seems. I have a unique connection to it. It's tied into my individual weave signature, and I've both developed it and am the only one who can operate it. So unless your soldiers are ready to put in the level of repairs and study that I have for my hundreds of years of life, I'm not certain it's mass producible. It's possible it could be worked out to such, but as it stands, it's a unique device for my own uses.
But if I built my own, I would be able to use it.
Possibly, yes. I imagine you could tune it to yourself, and assuming you have the knack for it, I think there's some level of inbuilt magical connection that you need. But I imagine so.
Can you teach me how to build this armor?
It would take a while, but I'm sure we can build you something like it.
I have a machine that might expedite the problem. I believe it could connect with your armor. Perhaps give me schematics. If you would.
Interesting. How about we extend our relationship a little bit? From what I've heard, this is going to be a more permanent stay, barring any unforeseen changes of heart by your queen. I'm not willing to give up my one negotiating chip, if you'll excuse the gambling term. I would very much enjoy to sort of have our relationship be mutually beneficial, mostly for my entertainment, as long as possible. So if you wouldn't mind, I'd like to keep some of my secrets as long as we're still getting to know each other.
You can see visible disappointment on his face, as he is not used to being turned down in this way. He looks you straight in the eyes and says, "Do everything in your power to help me build your armor." And he casts suggestion on
Okay. All right, and this is not a charm effect, so my
you. It is a charm
elvenness.
effect. Creatures that
People
can't be
who are-
charmed are immune to this effect.
Yeah. Does that mean that I get advantage on it?
Is it enchantment?
I think. Let's see.
Are you immune because you're an elf?
I'm not
I don't think he's immune. He
um,
might have advantage.
I might have advantage
Okay.
against
Meanwhile,
being charmed.
Anubis is in
Yeah.
a cell. Just
Yes.
fight, Cross. Just fight.
There's some overlap in time.
I'll leave it up to you. It seems like no, because it's not I'm not actually being charmed at the end of it. It's just that creatures who are immune to being charmed. This doesn't work on them. So I'll give it up to you.
Yeah. What specifically do you get advantage on?
So it says you have
Say charm
advantage on
effect.
saves against being charmed. Is I believe the specific wording. And you can't
Okay.
be
Yeah.
magically
It does not
purposely-
charm you. So you're right.
Yes,
So just a
that's
straight
what I thought.
wisdom saving throw.
Wisdom saving throw. Do I have any ability to add anything to it? I think not.
Come on.
I'll
Higher
go
than
ahead
a
and make my
14.
With save just to see if this even matters.
Ooh.
No.
Oh, you
Let me
fail.
see. Let me see.
And this isn't anything that's going to directly harm you, so there's no
Yeah,
loophole there.
yeah. I don't think. Yep, absolutely nothing. Okay, I've never been charmed as a PC. It's fun. Yes, of course. Right away. You said you had a machine?
Yeah, you can, and you can roleplay this however you want, whether it's like straight up you want to help him, or whether it's against your will, like sort of
I think
your
due
actions
to
are
the
being
way
taken over.
I think the way that suggestion works in my mind is that because it has to sound reasonable to the person, whatever it is just kind of writes its way into your pathways to make it seem reasonable. So it's like, it's reasonable that you would help this dude make your armor because, like, it's just what you do. It's simply normal.
Yeah, it was a polite request. No reason
Yeah.
to refuse. Yeah, he leads you over here to this these electric nodes and kind of has you touch these two orbs. And a little bit of lightning crackles, not in a painful way, but just interfaces with your suit a little bit. And it's connected to a dish of liquid that's like black ferrous liquid, and as the lightning surges you can start to see almost like a 3D printing of your suit appear in this liquid, which he then goes over to monitor. And I imagine you're sort of rattling off the basics of we don't have to make up like what artificery sounds like.
1.21
But the
gigawatts
basics.
of power.
But yeah, you have essentially like very minimum 3 levels worth of stuff to get through. So this is gonna take a while.
Cool.
Because he has 0 artificer levels. So we'll leave you there for the moment and move on to another one of our PCs. Let's go to Anubis. Or
Anubis
bounding
is
gag
not in a good
Anubis.
place right now.
Yeah, so you are lying in the cot in your cell. Your hands are tied behind you. Your feet are tied together, and you have a cloth gag on your mouth. So You can now no longer cast spells that have any components to them. But theoretically, if you have any magical abilities that require nothing at all, that they can still be used. So
Channel Divinity technically works, I think.
that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't know how much Path to the Grave helps you, but there are other things.
Hey, yeah.
Can I can still hear, right?
Yeah. So this. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And not too much time has passed. They basically knocked you out. They tended to your wounds, and put you in the cot. So, tell you what, you're at 1 HP because of how they beat the crap out of you. But
Hey.
I'll give you the benefit of the short rest. So if you want to roll some hit die to recover some HP, you can go ahead and do that now. We'll say it's been about an hour you've been knocked out.
That's right.
Very dramatic. Let me change my musica.
Can you expend all your hit
That's what's
die
called
on a
Castle
short
Jail.
rest?
Sure.
Mhm.
You can expend as many as you'd like, and you can do them one at a time. Doesn't matter to me.
I'm just gonna get a couple to get. That's 2. I think I'll do one more. It's 3.
Yeah, so as you're lying there, you hear a faint whisper through the wall. Hey. You there? Are you awake?
I attempt to just thrash about Magikarp style to get some auditory response.
Alright. You're awake. Good. I don't know if you saw me on the way in, but I'm the Duragar in the cell over from you. My name is Jurgen. I too am a captain of the Drow. He's speaking to you in Undercommon here, which you do currently understand. I saw you come in, the accursed sword. If I assist you, will you take it and leave this place?
I try to get a horn against the cot and do 2 little taps. Pink, pink.
It's 2 yes or it's 2 no.
Abubis rolls his eyes.
Alright, 1 for yes, 2 for no.
I do 1 tap.
Good. Oh, the worst thing for my kingdom would be for the Drow to recover that sword. I need you to escape here, take the sword, and leave as far as you can. Stay out of our affairs here in the Underdark. You do that.
1 tink, tink.
Good. All the dead bodies in these cells were once my fellow Duragar. I can cause them to rise again. Make a distraction. Be up to you to escape them. A friend of mine used to be in that cell under the cot. He left a shiv you can use to cut yourself free. You have to sneak out of here. I can't help you if you get caught. You understand?
1 tink, tink.
Right. Are you ready now, or do you want to wait?
I
Mustn't wait too long. I need that sword gone before they figure out some way to take it from me.
I give one tap.
You ready now?
Tap.
All right. If you find your way out of here, you can go to the graveyard. Okay? Listen to me. That's where you'll find a way out. Okay? The graveyard. And if you go and left something there, a value, you must take it. It'll help you get out. It's behind a crypt with a symbol of an eagle. You understand?
Tink.
All right. You only get one chance at this. Yes?
I start to roll off my bunk onto the floor. I'm a large man,
Okay.
but I try to do it stealthily.
You are.
And
Sure,
then
sounds good. Good. You can go ahead and roll stealth. I'm not going to give you any disadvantage or anything. Should be alright. Sliding off a bit.
You just gonna do the
Fall on the
worm?
ground.
Are you gonna do the
Yeah.
worm to get out?
The guard looks over towards your cell, sees you on the floor, just laughs, and gets back to reading a book.
in my mind, I just go.
Luckily, it's a fairly
Anubis says in his mind, he will be the first. And then
innocuous. Both the guards are ladies.
okay, she will be the first. I roll over to look under the bed. I'm looking under the bed.
All right, give me an investigation check. With your hands tied, you're fumbling around and finding it kind of difficult. You begin to hear chanting from Jurgen in the cell next to you. Kind of like that Mongolian throat singing, like, you know, that kind of stuff. And the guards kind of perk up and take notice of what he's doing. She steps out from here and says, "Hey, quiet down in there." Alright, you have enough time for one more check before things go down.
Alright, apologize, Twitch. I'm just getting the map right. I realized you could not see.
I know, I was just saying this before stream, y'all didn't hear me, but I wish Roll20 kept your level of zoom in between maps. Or, like, didn't keep your level of zoom in between maps. So that, like, if you had bigger or smaller maps, you could set their zoom level. Instead of having to zoom in and out every single time you get to a new map. I mean, it's not normally a big problem, but we're
just
switching
be,
maps a lot right now.
A Twitch plugin, right? That you can use to control your Twitch stream. You know,
Nice.
Okay, I guess I'll look for the Shiv again. So I'll do another investigation check. Okay. Whew.
There you go.
Whew.
So, the first time you basically weren't able to really get under the cot, and that was your major problem. But this time you managed to squeeze your head under first to take a peek. You can see that it's under the cot, like stabbed into one of the slats, so that it's only visible if you were to be under the cot. Now that you've seen it, you're able to wriggle it out It'll count as a dagger, so you have a dagger now.
Cool.
And it can be used to cut yourself. So Jurgen ends his chant. You can hear him slap the ground with his hands, and all of these corpses come to life as zombies and begin scratching at their cages.
Right. Cool.
The drow who are in adjacent cells are like, "What the hell, man?" And they just duck into corners and begin cowering. The giant spiders, in the presence of an abomination against nature, start just flipping out in their cells, running around in circles, just skittering over everything. And the guards immediately start freaking out. I'm gonna do.
I like how you made one of the drows
I
sound like Shaggy. Come on, Scoob! Zoinks!
Game over, man. Game over. I'm going to go ahead and do.
Need me to roll initiative?
Yeah, go ahead and roll initiative. This isn't going to necessarily be like the most initiative that ever existed. Just because it's not like
initiative.
you're not necessarily in combat with the things that are going on right now. Let me do something. Isn't this magic?
Isn't this romantic?
Romantic. Nice initiative, solid initiative, bro.
Don't patronize me. It's not. I didn't really.
Okay.
You have a great initiative bonus. It's just
Zombies. Look at that. You're passing the zombies.
But do I pass the knights?
Let's find out.
Should I have healed more? Probably.
You know.
Yes!
There you go. You're the fastest boy in the dark.
Nice.
I guess we'll let Jurgen do it right too. But he's a friend.
Jurgen,
so.
for now. So he tries to gut me.
Fastest boy.
fastest
Giant
gun in
spiders?
the West.
Giant spiders?
Come on, giants. A natural one.
Drow. Cowardly drow.
Fantastic.
They're gonna roll like 23.
So many people.
Oh, yeah. Fastest one there. Okay. Beat out by a drow.
They're just gonna cower. They're just gonna cower in their cell. What have I done? I've just given myself something to keep track of. What I've done.
Beat out by
All right,
a drow.
at the top of the round, the drow cower in their cells. You're up. So you can use an action to cut your bonds
I do that.
if you'd like. All right.
I
Any
do.
bonus action or movement?
The gate. Does the gate look like it was repaired at all, or is it in a similar state as when I left it when I was bashing against it?
It was replaced.
My name is
They
Jeff.
swapped your damaged gate with this zombie's gate up here. So his is now weakened, but yours is back to strength.
What?
I'm afraid.
Gonna have
Right.
to file a complaint
You have a
about
nice
this.
ship for lockpicking.
Yes, I do.
Or you can just bash it. That was working. There was potential for that to work.
Might make a lot of noise, but it could be covered up by the other Bashers.
Been making a lot of
the
noise.
various-
It has to be worse than zombies, though. You know.
And who
Yeah.
here is worse than zombies?
I think I'll use my last. Well, I'll do a bonus action and bring out spiritual weapon. I think that's what we'll do.
Okay.
Since I'm out of actions,
Will you do anything with it? It
I'll
can do something
I'll send it at the
when it
lock.
first appears, if you want. You're gonna attack the bars.
Yeah.
All right. Do an attack. And keep in mind your spell slots did not come back,
Yes.
but I think you do.
I'm
do
empty
that
now
too.
on that level.
I believe that misses.
18.
Yeah, it's iron, so it has an AC of 19.
Jeez. Okay. Well, not much to do, but no
Let me just-
no real movement I can use, so
You've got a full action.
I used it to cut myself free.
That was only a bonus.
No, he used his action to cut his bonds.
Oh. Gotcha.
Yeah, iron has an AC of 19.
That's ironic.
Well, I will just shimmy
Why's that?
next to Sun Smasher and
Oh,
call
iron.
it a day.
Yeah. It's a-
Fair real. Harris.
What happened to the turn order?
Did I close it?
Maybe.
It should stay.
Oh, there you go.
Alright. The zombies will go. So, the first noise the knights hear is that king from your cage. They all look over. But then the zombies all begin to go. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 zombies. And they will all do lovely zombie attacks against their cages. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 3 of them hit, which is pretty nice. So this one will do 7 bludgeoning damage to his cage. This one will do 7 bludgeoning damage to his cage. This one will do 2 bludgeoning damage to his cage.
Let's start a riot. Let's start a riot.
Prison break.
So yes, these knights, seeing the zombies claw at their cages, they do remember that one of these is particularly weakened. So they only roll for one. That's fine. They're going to both head towards the one that they know is most likely to get out of this cage. 30 es típico. Yeah, so she's gonna try. And they're like, shit. She's gonna try to attack the zombie through the cage with her longsword. We'll make 2 melee attacks. Oh, she's good at hitting stuff. Their armor class, nothing at all. And she's gonna do 16 slashing damage to her. Yeah. Do I have anything special? Alright, guys. Spiders are just going to continue to go around their cages. freaking out. Dragon is going to attempt to pick his lock.
Go, Jurgen.
Uh,
I say.
Oh wow, Dragon, yeah. He's gonna go ahead and be successful in picking his lock, and then he is going to sneak over to one of the spider's locks. He's gonna try to stealth over.
What are those sneak necromancers I've heard all about?
Can I get a beard check? Beard check on Jurgen.
Roll for
Yeah,
beard.
you can do.
Yeah.
Investigation. Do a Constitution saving throw to survive the beard. So that's going to be his turn. Drowse will cower. Back to you, Amubis.
He's got an 8 for beard. That was my beard check.
8 out of 20.
I know.
Pretty weak beard.
Oh, fantastic! Yeah.
Surface dwarves have nicer beards than Durgar.
It seems. I imagine
That's
it's
my
probably
official
more
canon.
of a. It's probably more of a care thing. He hasn't had the beard oils he's needed to keep it really,
Yeah, he's
really
been
nice.
insane.
So it's kind of matted.
It's kind of been his only source of food this time. He's gnawing on it.
He's
Got several bite marks.
He's got several shivs stored in there.
Dwarves can survive for years on just their
collagen.
beard.
It's good stuff.
the
So like hide snacks up in there. Just
High protein beard.
That's right. The spiritual weapon is like corporeal, like it will go through things, or no? Like it pass through the cell.
I believe so,
the
yeah.
word for that is
I think if you can
Incorporeal.
see,
There we go,
it will
incorporeal.
go.
Because I kind of want it to make it pass through the cell. And what was the distance that can it travel my speed or not my speed?
I think 20 feet.
It's on the
it should be
spell.
on the spell. I think it's 20 feet.
you rolled for it a little while.
I think it can go through
Scroll up
things.
and
You
go
just have
slow.
to be able to see.
Yeah, as long as you can see.
Show spell description up on where you rolled for it.
Yeah. Oh wait. Because I kind of want to send it in to bust that gate that's been banged up.
It is right next to a guard.
Oh wow, there's a lot of forums about this very specific question.
You can move up.
How much? Oh, whether a spiritual weapon can.
How
move
corporeal.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say if
Not
you
a-
can see it, they can go there.
So it can
I
go.
It's a spell effect. It's like, can Cloud of Daggers go through? Yeah, I can.
I mean,
Yeah, the spell will tell you like if it can't do something.
it can go to the knight, but it wouldn't be able to get to the gate because the knight is in the way. Correct?
Well, it doesn't have the same rules that
Okay.
people do.
It says it's not big enough to occupy a space, so it can inhabit the same square.
Yeah. It's not a creature. It's not like you generate a creature. It's just a spell effect. You can stand in the same square as any spell effect.
Then it's gonna go there and attack the gate.
Keep in mind, these aren't the only two guards in the universe. These are the only two guards in this room. You're in a kingdom of Drow where there are infinity guards. So, the taking out the guard strategy is perhaps a losing one.
I wasn't gonna take out the guard. I'm trying to free this zombie to further the chaos and distraction. Because I want to get that gate.
Okay. Make an attack roll.
I'm just trying to
with your spiritual weapon.
be an agent of chaos right now. So
They will never suspect who is trying to open this door.
never see it coming.
I mean, they did already see you use this exact spell.
Yeah, but not this way. Oh, no, wrong one.
I mean,
Just ignore
I
that.
hate to say yes, but
He's gonna be like, no, the zombies cast it.
that'll hit.
It wasn't me.
You can decide whatever it looks like when you cast it. So I imagine you could make it look like some sort of dwarven hammer or something. Like throw him off the trail here.
And for my
8
action,
force damage.
yes.
Let me see. Okay. Look at this. Okay. It is very near broken now, but not full broken.
I'm gonna try to pick the lock with a dagger.
Cool.
What sort of action
Go
is
ahead
that?
and do a sleight of hand check.
Okay. Yeah, boy.
That'll do it. You successfully pick your lock.
Okay.
You really need more Foley work here.
Either a
Okay.
cat or a lock.
So 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. So that's all I can do this round, and Amubis is like looks around very wild-eyed and gives the nod to Jurgen, just like thank you, and that's his turn.
Sounds good. The zombies will continue to claw at their cages.
Tries to talk to Jurgen. I've never done this before. This is so invigorating.
They will all
That
just
was so
reach
poorly.
their hands through the bars and flail about. They do not successfully attack the bars. This knight will join her friend, and they will continue to stab at the zombie in the nigh destroyed
Knife.
bars. God, I need to clear out
Bars.
some of these character sheets. They're ridiculous right now.
You can double click them and then go.
They're all
invisible.
going to take swipes at him because they're very desperately flailing about trying to down this fella. Alright, so the first slash does it, but because he's a zombie, he gets to do his zombie thing.
Pop
Love
back
that
up.
zombie thing.
Pop back up.
It's 5 plus damage taken, which was 8, so he's gonna have a DC 13 con saving throw. He does not
Instantly
pop
dead.
back up.
Instantly now.
Instantly dead as they stab at his corpse.
They were already kind of stabbing
discover
at his
him
corpse, but
thoroughly dead. It's true.
Blast.
This spider is going to hide in the corner because someone's picking his lock. This one will continue to flail around his cage. Jurgen's going to pick the lock. He'll say to you, "Go! Go!" And kind of gesture with his head for you to leave. He's going to attempt to pick the lock.
Ooh,
Amazing.
nat
This
20.
guy's such a
Nice.
great lock pick for not a very decky guy.
yeah,
Um,
for 0 dex, that's great.
And once that door's open, he'll fling it open, and he's gonna begin sprinting towards the other spider cave. She cannot make it to, but he will give it a go. So now this spider's cage is open. Drow are gonna cower. It's your turn. Your sword is in here.
Okay.
Just as a reminder.
I look at Jurgen. I'm like, "You're all right," and then I get to turn and try to book it, hoof it, as they say. So I'm gonna move 15 feet to where my sword is, which would be right there. And is it just out in the opening?
It's rust web.
Nice.
It's
Does it do anything
they have
when I pick it
almost
up?
like a. It has almost like a shrine. It's like wrapped in silk on a table. As you pick it up, does it do anything? Let's see. Well, the thing is, because you were still connected to it, it doesn't necessarily
Doesn't
feel
realize
too remarkable to have picked it up because its magic was always with you. But
Yes. I got the
let's
drug
say that
fix.
a certain yearning or urging within you has settled.
Ooh.
Wouldn't that be nice?
Is anything else of mine in this area?
Why don't you give me an investigation check?
I do not like
It's a search
those.
around the room
I am not
for
good.
stuff.
Let's see, roll the back-to-back nat 20s.
Here we go, Twitch.
Yeah. See if you're as good as Jurgen at stuff.
Not so great.
You are half as good.
So as you look around, it seems like they brought the sword here out of obligation, but did not bring other gear here, as it is a prison, and that would be unwise. I'll say, let's see. What could there be of use? I'll say there is a Dungeoneer's pack of supplies that belong to one of the Ashen Knights, which has a set of plain clothes. It has rope and pitons and all those sorts of things. So you have kind of like rations, the sort of everyday items. But as far as like your armor, your shield, holy symbols, those kind of stuff is not here right now. But you can go ahead and add a Dungeoneer's pack to your inventory for now.
This is disgraceful.
You gather that they are likely somewhere else. You still have some more movement and a bonus action.
Okay. So for my movement, I will go 15 more feet, which would be here. And then I'm just gonna try to get Sun Smasher to release. That zombie is dead though in that cage, right? Okay.
It is, yes.
Well, then I will just have to recall Sun Smasher towards me.
Cool.
So he retreats 1,
I think we said 20.
5, 10, 15, 20.
I mean, I think it can go as the crow flies if you want to.
Incorporeal, as established.
That's right. So then, if that's the case, 5, 10, 15, 20. Okay, I think that's it from
All right,
Lubus.
Zombies will continue to make quite a ruckus. Hey, there we go. We got a hit in there. 4 bludgeoning damage from. I'm just going clockwise on these. So this one nearest you makes some progress on his bars. Manages to knock one of them out. Not big enough for him to fit through, but a little bit of progress. The knights kind of look around and say, "Where did the Minotaur go?" Because they've got a clear line of sight to your cell. They do spot Jurgen, and they're gonna attempt to pacify. You probably know the official sort of terms for these things. I'm gonna use the term pacify.
Hey, non-lethally attack. Oh, you mean Craig? Right, that makes sense.
Yeah, Craig.
I was like, there's not really any more
at some
D&D
point.
turn. Yeah.
Let me see what Jurgen's about.
What's he got going for him?
Yeah, right. What's this guy?
He's a spellcaster,
What's his
so
deal?
maybe he's got some.
I think his spell focus should be his beard.
It's really dial into the Jurgen lore.
Oh, yeah. He really isn't a Dexy boy. So this he's all hit. Let's see, 19, 26 damage to his face as he is bludgeoned with swords.
Oh.
Sometimes you feel like
Dang.
swords ought to do more damage than this.
I agree.
But yeah, that's enough damage. Out of the corner of your eye, you see the bleeding mass of Jurgen fall unconscious to the ground.
No!
Atrocious stab wounds.
No!
He's got plenty of time to recover.
Amubis didn't even know his name. There was no introduction, right? Did he say his name when he was talking? That's right.
Did he?
I don't think he did.
I can't remember. He might have done
Say
right
he
at the
did.
start.
I can say whatever.
Yeah.
He did.
Okay.
Exactly. The
No!
world rewrites itself.
Jurgen, you were a good ally!
All right. Well, this giant spider now freed, is gonna scarper, as they say.
Did you say that?
10
It is
to
now.
get to here, and then he doesn't really know where he's going. He's probably following you up.
He's skittering,
like, I'm
skittering out.
Jurgen's gonna do a
Jurgen.
death saving throw.
You were a great ally. I was gonna call you
Do
Alibaba
non-player
too.
characters even do death saving throws?
They can. It's DM's discretion. Sometimes
Passes first.
important NPCs definitely do.
You remind me of a.
That's
And
fine.
Jurgen is the most important NPC.
You can see him take a gasp of breath, which gives you some
good.
hope as you flee the room.
Just like Alibaba. I'll call you Alibaba too.
There's only one real Alibaba.
This
Who said that?
drow nearest you will go, "Aw." He'll go, "Aw, not fair," as you run by him. And it's your turn.
Now it's scot-free.
Not fair.
I'm gonna chuck the dagger at him, or not at him. I'm.
What?
Is there?
He's in the cage.
Is the cage?
I mean, you can if you want to, but he's in a cage.
I'll just help him out. Is
So
there?
like assistant?
Yes. Does
Not
the?
like
Okay,
throw a
help.
dagger at him.
Yes. I'm trying to
No.
explain
Oh,
this.
like, give
Does
him a
the
down?
Does the gate come to the floor flush, or is there a gap? Can I slide the dagger under the gap?
Yeah, it's like iron bars.
Ours.
So you could just pass
You just-
the dagger.
All right, I'm gonna pass him the dagger because I don't need a dagger if I got my sword back. And
Nani?
I know, Nani is right, Alex.
He's like, whoa. He's like, you're all right.
Jurgen. That's whoa. That
What is this speak and spell that you're
I don't
playing
know.
with right now?
Let's
Joel?
soundboard.
just for funsies.
So sorry, I found a sound effect.
Just for funsies, give me an insight check, and we'll see like what this guy's actually in for.
Okay.
The D&D sound effect board is pretty cool. I'm trying to make it line up with things that are happening. That was a Anubis.
I feel like a moo is always appropriate in this campaign
When
at any given time.
when he goes, "You're all right," I go. A little tear rolls. I was like, "That's what I used to say to Jurgen."
Wow, you know this guy's
man.
whole deal.
Yeah, so in my head, the higher the insight check, the worse thing he was gonna be in for. So this is insanely high. He
This man is a serial killer.
yeah, he's known as the Skinner of South Alley, and he what he does is he skins people like other drow. He has a particular affinity for older women because he's got mommy issues, and he just likes to skin older women, specifically with knives, which you've just given him. So
Well, he just kind of Anubis puts his hand on his hip and said, "It's just for escaping," and then he leaves.
and he goes, "Promise."
Ba-ba-ba-da.
Now, give me a persuasion check. Let's see if you can convince him to only use it for escape.
To not
do
stab
do
people.
a star wipe.
I'm seeing it like a more like a GI Joe moment.
I'm
You
sorry.
know,
I'm gonna stop. Okay.
Yeah.
The more you know.
don't go skinning people
Skinning
now.
people
GI Joe.
Skinning people is wrong. They need their skin to live. The more you know.
It doesn't work. All right, I tried.
He goes, "Promise," and winks at you, and like the way you turn away from him, he feels like you wink at him too. He's like, "Yeah, we have an understanding. We know that I'm gonna use this for skinning."
And
I know that wasn't your intent.
and Anubis is just like, "Oh,
As you turn back, he already has an old woman somehow.
Yeah. Where did you come from? Oh yeah, you have more movement and a bonus
You're off
action.
and away.
And a full action?
Yeah, and a full action. So I'm going to use my 30 feet.
I don't think tossing someone a knife costs anything.
Thanks, I appreciate that. And skitter up the stairwell. I want to use a dash, but I want to also do a perception so I do not get into a situation. So I'm going to see if I hear anything in the stairwell or anything like that. Is it going? I'm going upstairs,
we'll,
downstairs. Go
We'll
ahead.
move to someone else here, and then you can have a whole turn on your next sesh.
Sounds good.
Did somebody log in?
What was that?
I think I glitched for a moment.
Alright, I'm going to close this turn order, and we're going to move on to Alibaba.
Noise.
Give everyone a little screen time here.
All right.
And get ready with your zoom out buttons, kids.
He skins people with knives. Did you guys see that comment from Alex? Alex in the chat. Appreciate you.
So as you
Specifically.
emerge from the sewers, you find yourself in a graveyard,
Ooh.
and you and Newt crawl yourselves out of a pit. And as you set foot on the earth, you sink in a good 5 inches, as there is very, very thick, wet mud here. This is indeed difficult terrain. And as you set in, you can see off in the distance the faint light of a torch, which seems to be set atop an elevated building.
So, I think Alibaba is kind of opposed to being dirty, and I think he would immediately um, attempt to pull out, flatter his magic carpet, and step upon the carpet to get out of the mud.
Yes. And is that, what do you get that for, like 10 minutes? How does that work?
Yeah, there's
'Cause
probably
it's
a time
it's a
limit.
reflavoring of your like flying skill, I believe.
Yeah. Yeah, let's say it's 10 minutes. I think it's my elemental gift. No, that's not what it is.
We can look it up.
Yeah, anyway.
It is.
I think it may have been,
10 minutes.
Yeah.
yeah.
As opposed to actually give yourself a flying feet of 30 feet that lasts for 10 minutes,
There
during
it
which you
is.
can hover.
Okay, so yeah, we reflavored that in a way. So yeah, he would immediately pop up on that, which gives him a flying speed of 30 feet. He would, I think, slowly ascend into the air to kind of see if he can get the lay of the land. Is this a dark area? I guess it doesn't matter.
Yeah, I mean, it's as dark as most parts of the Underdark. I will say
Yeah.
there's less bioluminescence here, but there is that singular torch on a building. And as you float up, you can see, though it's a fair distance away, there is a single drow on the building, a male drow with an eye patch. And as you ascend, he sees you too. And I'll have you roll initiative.
Oh.
Mm.
All right. What have I done?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yikes.
caught flat-footed. All the mud.
He also has with
Cut.
him a like junkyard dog and a trained hawk.
Okay.
And so at the start of the round, he's going to take aim with his heavy crossbow and fire a shot at you. If I can find his character sheet.
Oh my gosh. 13 hits.
Does it?
No, you have a permanent bark skin, so your AC should be 16.
Okay. I'm just gonna go ahead and update that then.
Yeah, you
forgot
might
about
have
For
to
the
go.
best.
You might have to click on like the gear and actually set it, because sometimes I've had AC troubles before.
Alright, so it whizzes past me.
Yep, he shoots wide a bit. He'll use his bonus action to reload and sit awaiting his next turn. He'll also crouch down behind a wall, and he has half cover. His trained hawk is going to. I can find these darn characters. The problem is I have characters that I don't know if they're going to be recurring, and I'm like,
Yeah, you don't want to delete them.
I had to organize mine by folders because it started getting overwhelming.
Folders is a reasonable idea.
it's going to fly up and begin squawking in your face, attempting to use the help action to help him target you. He's doing bird stuff. His dog is going to... Got some speedy boys here. He's going to take a more central kind of location as it runs up and waits around. It's now your turn.
So, okay.
Your move.
I think Alibaba is going to call out, "My friend, I am no fiend from the graveyard. I am just a lost soul. There's no need to attack me." Despite my appearance, I am not a demon.
You're certainly close enough that shouting will allow him to hear you. And you see him, he's got a cigarette. He'll take a puff off of it and then get into an aiming position with his crossbow.
Okay.
He's not in the mood.
I think so. This hawk is like right on me then at this point.
Yeah, he's buzzing around your head.
But it's just a hawk. You could probably take an opportunity attack from him pretty easily. Who's to say how strong a hawk is?
I'm just not sure if he's going to give me disadvantage on everything because he's like right in my
You would.
proximity there.
Just ranged attacks.
So I do have the +3 to the King of Twilight.
Yep.
So I'm gonna go ahead and take a swipe.
Oof. What if Alibaba just goes down here with his -3 death saves, just gets wrecked, or we enter some sort of like perpetual prison break? He like takes him, puts him in prison, then we have to like.
So this is a +3 dagger.
Yes.
Whoa!
Oh! Go ahead and roll damage. But I reckon that
Gosh.
would. Unless you're
Is it
using the
much
sleep
chance that he.
aspect of it.
Yeah. So that's.
I think it should be
I'm trying to think.
a little bit
probably
more
be-
than that.
Yeah, because it's a critical, right?
Let me just.
So it's saying that it's a +1 magic dagger right now. So that would
Yeah,
actually
let's
be
just
7, assuming you do actually have
Let's
one
just-
dex.
Let's just put a +3 dagger in your inventory.
All right, let me look that up.
So that would actually be 10 damage. Because both of those rolls are 3. Again, assuming you have +1 dex. Seems
I'd rather just put the thing to sleep. I don't know if
You can do
that's
that.
going to kill it or not. So,
Yeah, you can use the sleep function.
all right.
and that's
So
also
level 1 through sleep.
Mhm.
Yes.
So
Yeah, that'll-
39.
As you jab the dagger into it, the hawk just goes limp and falls. How
Alright.
high up had you floated?
I would say, I don't want to be meta here, so I'd probably have it like 10 foot, 15 foot.
Okay. Well, it's just gonna fall and probably not take any damage. I think it'll be alright.
Soft
With the
soft
dagger
ground.
still in it, yeah, right into the nice mushy mud. All right, that was your action. You still have bonus action. And
Are there any, is there anything I can hide behind? Excuse me.
Yeah, there are gravestones, so you can use this image as guide for like where those gravestones are. Those are going to be
Okay.
like probably 4 to 5 foot tall, so they're going to be fairly easy to hide behind.
I'm trying to. I'd say he's like, in this area.
Cool.
Trying to hide
Yeah.
from
Um,
our gravekeeper guy.
because of the because we're doing it as a magic carpet, you can bring Newt with you to the
For sure. Newt's on the carpet.
It's a good sleeping.
I think there might even be Z's.
And I'm assuming Newt goes on my turn as well.
Yes.
So Newt is gonna like slither off the carpet down onto the ground and in front of Alibaba.
All right, I'm gonna say yeah, you guys will have. I'll say you'll have half cover if you're just going to crouch behind it, but you can have 3/4 cover if you're willing to go prone behind it.
Okay.
Which would also give him disadvantage on any ranged attacks against you.
Yeah, I'm gonna do the full cover thing, but Newt is gonna slither over right in front of this mastiff.
Okay. Does he have the movement to make it there?
He has 30 feet.
Yeah, totally. Is he going to do anything once he's there?
I don't think familiars can really do anything.
Help back.
He's yeah. I mean, he's gonna ready a help action. Kind of like
What's the
in
what's the
preparation.
conditions for that?
So if I'm gonna attack the mastiff, then he would probably like distract it so that I could be more likely to hit it.
Yeah, I'll say if you announce an attack, he will use the help action. Or you can just have him use the help action, and then you'll have advantage if you decide to attack it. There's not really a time limit. I think it's 1 round thing.
Yeah.
It's up to you. But I'll say if you announce an attack, it will use the help action.
Perfect.
The drow is going to hold his action for if he sees you. He will do an attack, as he currently does not have a good line of sight on you. And that will be his turn. He remains in half cover. Hawk's asleep. His dog, seeing itself approached by a snake, is going to attack Newt.
No.
No.
Not the Newt.
He has a bite attack, predictably. Ooh, I reckon that'll hit.
Yeah, that's gonna hit.
He's going to do 4 piercing damage to Newt.
He's dead.
And
R.I.P.
snap him dead in 1 bite.
He kind of disappears in a puff of black smoke.
And the dog will spend the rest of its turn turning around in circles looking for the snake that has disappeared. It is your turn.
I think so. Alibaba, he pulls out the flask and holds it and begins to like cast this strange arcane pattern in front of himself, and he like shoots out a weaving, odd, like crazy hypnotic pattern out in front of himself, where these both the mastiff and the drow would see it, and they're going to need to make a Wisdom saving throw.
Cool. Can you link that in chat? I'm just not very familiar with that spell.
30-foot cube, I don't think would fit. Oh, each creature in the area who sees the pattern.
Yeah,
I
so
don't
you
know.
can
I
pick
was thinking
one.
like it's a visual thing. I guess it's like he's got to be in the cube.
Yeah, you gotta be
Yeah.
in the cube.
You can pick one or the other.
Crap. Okay. I think he's gonna use it on the elf.
All right, he's gonna do a wisdom saving throw. Yes. He will fail.
Nice.
And he'll just be sat there.
Yes, my magic.
He's just got his cigarette kind of loosely hanging in his mouth, and is just sitting there.
Call of your dogs. That's what he's trying to do here.
You can kind of just go up, can't you?
What's that?
It's just a dog. I was just saying you could go up.
Well, I assume since, I'm assuming he's controlling the dog. He's like that, and since he's charmed, I can tell him to call his dog, but I could, yeah.
Charm gives you advantage on charisma checks. That is the only effect vis-a-vis talking to somebody.
All right, well, he's just going to leave. Then he's going to hop on his carpet and fly away.
Cool.
Hopefully the Mastiff doesn't chase him. Like a dog chasing a car or something.
You wouldn't know what to do when you caught it.
So he's gonna I guess fly over.
You've only got 30 feet.
Yeah. Okay. He's basically looking for an exit out of this area while the guy's incapacitated.
So yeah, the building he's atop of has a door in it.
Okay.
So that's a potential exit of this area. The other directions seem to just lead kind of into the Underdark at large. That's the only entrance that seems to lead toward the city, per se. So he'll just sit there. He's still in kind of a targeting position with his crossbow, but he's pointed at your previous location, just kind of in a stupor, like cigarette hanging out of his mouth. Not really present.
Okay.
Let's see.
I would, this is going to end my turn because that's as far as I can go. But
yeah. Sorry, I was already continuing on. If that's all right.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Mastiff is not quite aware of what's going on with his master right now. He's not quite clever enough.
So I'm assuming I can just step back on the carpet.
Let's see if he's clever.
Like I'm in the air.
Yeah, it's just a flying speed, so you can do it whenever you feel He is very certainly not clever enough to realize what's going on with his master. So he's going to run up to you, and he's going to start barking at your position to use the help action, assuming that he's helping.
-4 intelligence. That's wild.
Yes. He is simply a dog.
No.
a very average dog. And it's back to your turn.
All right. Alibaba is going to kill the dog, hopefully, with 2 Eldritch Blasts. So,
Right, it's disadvantaged because he's in melee range.
even though I'm like
You're up, aren't you?
10 feet in the air above him or so. Your call.
Oh,
If
yeah,
it is
sorry.
disadvantage,
Yeah, I didn't realize you were in the air.
assuming those hit.
Those will both a hit.
Right.
So we'll get fire on the first one,
20.
not on the second. Reckon it doesn't
23.
super matter. Yes. The first one is plenty enough to execute this doggo. It blasts him back, sets him on fire, so he nicely will burn up
Awesome.
in a beautiful little doggo bonfire.
And then he's going to use the rest of his movement to fly over, I guess, on the roof of this truck. Well, let me measure the distance here. 30. All right, so he's going to fly right next to this guy.
Right.
Gracefully landing on the roof next to it.
Delete this fella. As you land next to him, he kind of sleepily looks up at you and just puffs his cigarette. Doesn't do anything. It's your turn again.
All right, he is going to use the the Twilight Dagger. You can recall it to your hand.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to recall the dagger.
Cool.
And then stab this dude with it.
Recalling it's an action,
Okay.
so you can't recall and stab him in the same turn, but you can recall it if you'd like.
He's going to recall it then, and then just sort of casually walk around behind him.
Sounds good.
And
He, as you sort of leave his line of sight, he's just going to return to pointing at the gravestone that you once were at some time ago. The hawk's going to wake up because it no longer has a dagger in it. Kind of wake with a start and take to the air. It's going to fly near y'all, but it can't quite make it.
all right.
And it's gonna squawk at you, but it's no official mechanical advantage to anyone, but it is squawking.
He's going to see the bird and immediately cast Eldritch Blast again
Fair.
on the bird. 15 and a 24.
It's bird dead.
You're quite successful.
All right.
It's bird dead.
Yeah, the first one's plenty enough, and it too dies and begins burning up. What's nice is all this fire damage is real tidy. Burns the corpse.
Yeah.
I mean, you're also in a graveyard, so like,
Yeah, it's already where they should be dead.
yeah. It's honestly,
Alright,
frankly, the most.
You've got bonus or movement if you want.
Yeah, I think, Alibaba, before just like killing this dude, is going to try to talk to him, and while he's got an advantage for charisma checks, and
Okay.
My friend, you are my best friend. What is ahead of me? What lies in wait for me ahead in going into the city that I do not want to run into? He's trying to get, intel um, on what might be
So
ahead.
yeah, you have advantage on a persuasion check.
Okay, let's see.
Whew. Thank goodness you do. I guess it really wouldn't matter one way or the other, but
All right, so the second's 21.
Um,
Wow, that's a
he kind of jumps a little bit because you were behind him and he's very in a stupor right now. And he pulls his cigarette out and says, "We're connected to graveyards, connected to places that need it most. The jails and laboratory." Just continue smoking.
Both of those places sound very interesting. I have a feeling my friends are in the jail. Do you happen to have, a key you could loan to your buddy Alibaba?
your buddy.
Do another persuasion check. You can toggle advantage, by the way, on your character sheet.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
FYI.
Well, that was a 22.
Yeah, that'll work. He says, "Open." And he just goes back to smoking.
Oh, he doesn't have a key? Okay. Well, in that case, Alibaba is gonna say, "My friend, for your own safety, I will need to tie you up and gag you and leave you here. Trust me. It is for the best." And
Go ahead and give me one more persuasion.
all right. I
Not
mean,
like he's gonna
technically,
resist anyway, but
he is incapacitated and has a speed of 0, but I don't know if he can.
It's true.
It's more-
what's
it's more
the
if he
nature of
believes.
incapacitated?
Yeah, he
can't
may-
move or take react. Well, you can't take actions or reactions or bonus actions. I think that's the actions or reactions.
So when you say you're going to tie him up, he'll say, "Fuck you," but he won't make any moves against you.
Language.
And,
Language warning.
Alibaba is gonna.
Hey man, drows are rough. I don't know what to tell you. The Underdark's a harsh place.
He's going to. It was good seeing you again, buddy. Remember, you never saw me. And if you do remember, my name was something like Charles or something. And then he gets on his
Charles.
carpet and flies towards the jail.
I'd like to think that you tied one of his hands just right here, so
So you can just
he's
put
content
the
enough.
pack right there, and he just chain smokes somehow.
All right, so you enter the building, yes, and we'll head back to Karos for the moment as we kind of wrap up tonight. He's making some progress on mapping out the at least material design of your armor, as he's nearly finished this sort of magical 3D printing that he's been doing. And he'll say, I've run into some anomalies. It seems like much of your armor is of one design, and then there are strange blips of other types of magic, even an ancient magic I have no familiarity with. You know what this is?
Yes, I believe I mentioned that some of the path tech has sort of integrated itself. There are times when I'll be traversing the path and suddenly my armor will just get better. It's all of my design, certainly, but I think there's some sort of a co-authoring that the path does. But I know how it all fits together, and nothing is, beyond my understanding other than maybe perhaps origins.
He seems kind of frustrated. I don't think I can replicate that kind of magic.
Well, perhaps if you made your armor and then walk through the path as I have, it would have a similar cohesive effect.
The parts are intertwined. It's difficult to tell what I'm looking at this point. It seems your armor is far more complex than perhaps I thought.
Yes, as I mentioned, many years have gone into this of a sort of constant hyperfixation on making it better. So let's not get discouraged that we can't help you make this an armor for yourself in one day. I think we've got quite a long time, and it's not as if we've only got about 7 hours left of me wanting to help you.
Yes, I need to get this done.
Well, I'll help out as best as I can. Perhaps we'll start with the basics. I can teach you some very basic artificery.
I think we need to start from scratch.
Well, perhaps I'll replicate my father's work with you. We can sort of teach you as he taught me, and we can build you something from the basic framework that I was working with. Add on to it as I have. Iterative. Perhaps with a little bit more knowledge from past failures and experiments.
Maybe I can turn off the anomalous magic.
On my armor.
Shit, what's the harm in trying? He takes his sword and he stabs it in the ground, and there's a pulse of energy. And suddenly you feel the full weight of your armor as all magic has been deactivated in the area. So he has activated an anti-magic field. I need your knowledge, not this strange anomalous magic. I need it all to turn off. We just need to start from scratch. Stop being so damn curious.
Yes. That's not going to work for me. And I am actually just going to full sprint out due to the fact that suggestion's off now.
He is going to activate his blade song, which is he can. This is not a 8th level spell anti-magic field. This is a particular anti-magic field that he has activated that has somewhat different rules. As you attempt to move, there is a strange sort of rumbling you feel that was not unlike the purring of one Rainer, as sort of the revving of an engine happens, and you feel your control of your armor return as the strength requirement leaves you, and you have a degree of control back. And to which he says, "This shouldn't be happening." And that's where we'll leave it for tonight.
Nice. Cliffhanger.
Yes, your armor is rumbling as though an
Nice.
engine.
I got
cool.
Ida legs now.
I need to remember there's a cam on me. I feel like my delivery is very dead for me.
I don't think you can think too much about it.
Well, that was fun, guys.
Yeah, good times.
It was.
Fun for me.
Good times, yeah.
We started with
No,
the
we
party split, and we're
Three
ending
very
with the party
diverse
split.
stories here.
I think
Glad I
You know,
finally got to use hypnotic.
What's
pattern.
that? 3 sessions of party split?
oh,
Yeah,
it's-
Hypnotic Pattern, man. That's one of those Saber suck.
It's a good one. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's a
I'm glad he failed.
Mhm.
Yes,
convenient,
he was
certainly.
not very wise.
So there you have it, folks.
I
Go ahead, Pia. Somebody, I cut you off.
no, we're good.
There you have it, folks. Anubis on the run from prison. Alibaba running through graveyards, possibly disgracing tombstones. We don't know. I don't know what he does in the graveyard. I'm not there.
Ollie was here.
And Karos trying to get out of being brainwashed in a lab. So, what a good way to end this story, but it's not done yet. You're going to have to come back next week to see what P.S. Zombie has cooking. Also, a reminder to be watching our social medias for drops on our other campaign. Shout out to TamLink1. Thank you for being in the chat, and appreciate you dropping a comment there. We did split the party, but sort of not our fault, maybe? And then also, thank you, Alex, for hopping on the stream and being active, as well as the Poo2 crew. We appreciate everybody that checks us out. Now we're after the fact. Again, we had pretty good views after the fact on this video, as well as our last stream of Osmond Jones. So just thank you for checking us out. Feel free to follow us here on Twitch, YouTube, or our social medias. This is P to ASU, and we're saying good night.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.